Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel Javier Science and Immigration. And today's episode, I will be explaining you, or I will be discussing you about how to plan the task one write-up of academic writing. Right? In this series, what I did till now is I tried to explain you how to frame the introduction, how to frame the overview, and how to plan BP1 and BP2. But this in this particular episode, I will take an example of a graph, and we will do step by step about the write-up. All right. So before that, it's my request to all of you guys, please subscribe my channel and hit the like button, and students, those who are new to my channel, please, it's my request, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the like button. And I'm assuring you, if you're watching my channel, if you watch my channel regularly, my videos regularly, then definitely you're going to get something new in my videos, and authentic also. They're authentic also. Whatever I am teaching here, or whatever I'm giving you information, is purely based on the British Council and IELTS requirements, right? What they are actually asking, I am discussing on those things only. I'm focusing on those points so that you can score good band score in your write-up. So before starting my example with the sample write-up, I would like to show you the question first and the graph first. This you keep in your mind, then we will start the planning part of the write-up. Right, the graph gives information about car ownership in Britain from 1971 to 2007. Right, this is the graph. The y-axis is displaying the percentages, and the x-axis is displaying the time period, starting from 1971 to 2007. Then with an information that households with regular use of a car, Great Britain. Right, that means the owner of cars. Right, it's about the owner of cars. Right, the first line graph is representing the three or more cars. That means owners with with three or more than three cars. And the second deep color blue line is displaying about the data about the owners who are having two cars. Right, and this one is displaying the owners who don't have a car. And then the top one, this one is displaying the owners, number of the percentage of owners with one car. So this is the thing we have to plan a write-up for this graph. Right, the heading is given as the graph gives information about car ownership in Britain from 1971 to 2007. So guys, before going to the plan and how to start the introduction, or how to what to write, what to include in the overview, or how to plan the BP1 and BP2, I would like to show you the band descriptors for task 1 write up, right, which is available on the net also. So but before write up, I will always advise you, please, in the beginning stage, right, when you're starting your write-up, when you're starting your practice, right, that time you keep that band descriptors with you and keep an eye on those requirements, what the band descriptors are asking or to fulfill when you write a write-up, right? So that you will have an habit to remember those points, right? Band descriptors requirements, that will become an habit for you to keep all the things in your mind while starting your write-up or while planning for a write-up. So let's go to the band descriptors. So in this, I have not taken the band descriptors below 6. Just I am displaying the band descriptors 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? So your task 1 will be assessed based on task achievement, will be based on your task achievement, and then coherence and cohesion, and then lexical resources, and the grammatical range and accuracy. Right, these 4 items, your task 1 will be assessed on these 4 items. See, so now the main purpose of showing this to you is that, see, those who are starting their practice, or those who are new to IELTS write-up, or newly or planning to go for the test, right, and you have started your classes now, you have started your practice at home, or maybe in some center or institute, wherever it may be, the best thing is that you keep this thing with you for some days, to get habituated with the requirements of the task. Right, so when this you will keep in your mind, so the moment you start planning for the write-up, all those main points will be, you will try to cover all those main points, so that you personally will get that feeling that at what band you are writing. Right, see, for 6 bands, what the task achievement is saying, addresses the requirements of the task And for academic purpose, if you're answering the academic write-up, then presents an overview with information appropriately selected. See, overview, this is important, right? Overview, that means your task will have an overview, right, with information appropriately selected, right? Presents and adequately highlights key features. Presents and adequately highlights key features, that means all key features you have to include in that, right? And then bullet points, but details may be irrelevant. Bullet points refers to general write-up, right? So we are not going to discuss about bullet points at this moment, but key features you have to include in your write-up, and then you have to include an overview, right? So this is what 6 band is asking, right? In the meantime, for coherence and cohesion, what 6 band is asking: arranges information and ideas coherently, and there is a clear overall progression, right? A clear overall no bad links, right? That means overall, whatever you have written, whatever the links you have generated, or the reference you are doing paragraph wise, or at the paragraph level, or inside the paragraph, right? Coherent, and there is a clear overall progression must be there. Then you are going to get 6 in your coherence and cohesion, right? Similarly, in lexical resources, uses an adequate range of vocabulary for the task, attempts to use less common vocabulary but with some inaccuracies, and makes some errors in spelling and or word formation, but they do not impede communication. That means if your communication still, suppose there are mistakes, but you could able to communicate what you want to say, then you will be getting 6 in lexical resources, right? With adequate range of vocabulary. See, adequate range, it is clearly mentioned, adequate range, not high vocabs or complex vocabs, right? Big vocabs. Remember, adequate range of vocabs, right? Then for grammatical range and accuracy, uses a mix of simple and complex sentences forms, right? Simple and complex sentence forms, makes some errors in grammar and punctuations, right? The punctuation marks means use of commas or semicolons. You have done some mistakes while using the commas and semicolons in your write-up, but they rarely reduce communication. If they are not affecting your communication, then you are going to get 6 for grammatical range and accuracy, right? So similarly, so other bands, what they say, what the differences are there. See, in 7, covers the requirements of the task. For academic, presents a clear overview of main trends. See, main trends, here the word is used as main trends, which is missing in your 6 band. Main trends means what? If there are any high or low figures are there, dramatic changes are there, drastic changes are there, or any common things are there, or common to all, right? That type of things you have to include. If you are including in that, then your task achievement is 7. Right? Similarly, logically organized information and ideas, there is a clear progression throughout. If you could able to maintain that clear progression throughout your write-up, that means starting from introduction to end, then your coherence and cohesion you're standing at 7 bands. Similarly, for lexical resources also, uses a sufficient range of vocabulary. See, again, sufficient range of vocabulary, not complex range of vocabularies or complex vocabs. It is clearly mentioned that use a sufficient range of vocabs to allow some flexibility and precision, right? Precision, that means accurately, that means the right words at right place, use of right words, right vocabs at right place, right? Then you'll be given a score of 7 band for your lexical resources. Similarly, grammatical range and accuracy uses a variety of complex structures. See, complex structures, here the word simple has been omitted from the description, right? So complex structures produces frequent error-free sentences. That means there may be errors, there may be some errors. Don't worry for that. If you could able to produce frequent error-free sentences, then your grammatical range and accuracy stands at 7 band. Similarly, for 8 and 9, there is no much difference, but in 8 covers all requirements of the task sufficiently, presents, highlights and illustrates key features, all the key features. Then bullet points, similarly bullet points is for general task appropriately, right? Then if you're covering all the things, that is the requirements of 7 and the requirements of 8, right? If you're covering all those things, then you're getting 8, right? And then sequence information and ideas logic. Sequences information, see here up to 7 band it is written as logically organizes, but here sequences, that means what way your write-up is maintained throughout the task, right? See, I can't say I get up early in the morning, I had my dinner. I can't say in that way, because that is not the sequence. If I'm getting early in the morning, then I will have my breakfast. I can't have my dinner. So that is the breakup sequence, right? Or if someone asks me, what is your daily routine, I can't start from by saying this sentence that I go to sleep at 9 o'clock at the night, right? Because that comes at the last. Sleeping comes at the last. So what I have to do is the same way, the which is related to your, you see, always think about your real life examples while writing a task. You think about your real life, you correlate them with your real life incidents. That will help you to generate ideas, to create new ideas, to work on ideas for linking them in a sequential manner or a logical manner, right? So remember, this is sequence information and ideas logically. This is important, right? Your ideas are synchronized in a logical order and in a systematic manner, right? Manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently. See, paragraphing, this is important. Uses paragraph sufficiently and appropriately, right? So paragraph up to 7, see 7 band, there is no word is given anything about paragraph, right? But here in 8 band, see, suppose you want to get 8 band in coherence and cohesion, your paragraphing must be accurate, right? See, that means no extra paragraphs, no less paragraphs. That means introduction, if the task needs introduction, overview, 2 body paragraphs, means there must be only 4 paragraphs. If your task demands for 5 paragraphs, that means your task must have 5 paragraphs, right? So this is what it is given. Uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately, right? And then in 9 bands, you see skillfully manages paragraphs, right? It is not that you have written paragraphs, you have written accurately the number of paragraphs, but you fail to manage the paragraphs. Then again, that is not the right thing, right? So if you're managing those paragraphs, then you're getting a 9 band in coherence and cohesion, right? Similarly, for lexical resources, use a sufficient range of vocabulary, right? This same thing. Uses a wide range of vocabulary. See, again, wide range, right? Wide range, sufficient range, wide range. See, nowhere the band descriptors mentioned that a student need to write complex vocabs, right? So my advice to you, to all of you, my advice to all of you, that everyone has got words in their minds, right? Everyone has got words. First, learn them, learn how to use them properly at the right place, right? If you're using them in correct way, then that is enough. That is enough, right? Everyone has got vocabs, right? And it's good. I'm not saying that you avoid learning good vocabs or better vocabs. That is good. But at the time of learning, what you have to keep one thing in your mind is that you must know the proper meaning of the words, the new words, whatever you are learning, and how to use them, where to use them. That is important. It is not that only getting the meaning of the word will give you score. No, that will not give you the score. You know the meaning of a word, but you are using it at a wrong place, then you are definitely are going to lose marks. Right? So it is better use those words which are for which you are confident. Right? You are confident, use confident words, the words, the meanings you know, and the right place to use. If you're confident about those things, then use those words, right? Then definitely you will be getting score, right? Then in band 9, what it's saying, use a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical resources. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. Slips means by mistake, by chance. It is not a deliberate mistake. It's a mistake which occurred maybe due to overlook, or it's unknown mistake, right? We can't say that the deliberate mistake here, right? It's a slip. So you are going to get 9 band for lexical resources. Similarly, for grammatical range and accuracy, see 8 band scale, what it's saying is uses a wide range of structures. The majority of sentences are error free. Makes only very occasional errors or inappropriacies, right? Occasional errors, right? It's not, that means negligible. That is, if we want to ignore them, we can ignore them, right? It will not impact, or it will not have any effect on the content or on the context of your writing, right? The communicate will not change the meaning of the sentence, right? And then use a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy. Rare minor errors occur only as a slips. The same thing, right? In the 9 band, the same thing. That means accuracy. Here more accuracy you need to execute based on grammatical range and accuracy, right? Now, so these things we have to keep in your mind, and we will plan the write-up for task 1, right? See, this is the graph. The graph below gives information about car ownership. See, the below gives information about car ownership in Britain from 71 to 2007. This is time period, right? This is time period, and this is the unit, and this is the data, right? So now we have to plan our introduction. What introduction basically needs? In introduction, try to cover. We have to give an summary of the graph, right? What at the first glance, whatever it is coming into our mind, we have to present them without any figures. Remember, no figures, no data items, right? Only we have to give the outline of the graph, right? So in this, what we have going to include is the heading of the graph, or the information which is given on the heading, right? We have to rephrase them wherever it is possible. We will use the words without changing the meaning, right? We will use different words, but without changing the meaning of the heading, meaning of the question, the task, right? And then based on the graph, whatever we can include, we'll see what to include and how to include. So now here, what by seeing the graph, what we are getting, what information we are getting is that this graph is based on, see, as per the heading, it is clearly maintained that the data belongs to Britain and the time period is 1971 to 2007, and this is about the car ownership, right? This is about the car ownership. And now, based on ownership, the further information is about, see, a owner may have 3 or more cars, right? Owners may have 2 cars, and some owners are without car, and some owners are with 1 car. So this is the main information. So we have to frame a sentence based on this information. So I'm showing you the sentence directly. See, the line chart displays the data of car owners based on number of cars per household in between 71 to 2007 in Great Britain, right? Just I've taken almost all the things from the heading. The time period, I've mentioned the time period and the place, and then car owners, right? Ownership, car ownership, I wrote it as car owners, right? And then per household, right? Cars per household in between 71 to 2007. That means almost everything I have covered in my introduction, right? Similarly, now we will plan about overview. Overview means what? A summary, right? Overview, summary about the data, right? Not the figures. Remember, not the figures, right? We will try to cover the data items in a summarized way, right? So what the summary will be? See, it is clear from the chart that car ownership in Britain increased between 71 to 2007. See, almost all the lines, right? Almost all the lines, they are showing an increase towards 2007. Even see the owners without car also read, the percentage of owners without cars also reduced, means what? There is an increase in the ownership of the cars, right? Earlier there were around 50% without cars, but at the end of 2007 there are only 25% without cars, right? Similarly, in the case of ownership with 3 or more cars, see, the starting point is somewhere in between, somewhere maybe 1 or 2%, but at the end it is showing more than 5%, around 7 to 8%, right? Similarly, for this one also, it's a slight change, it's a slight drop down is there in this case. Otherwise, all other things are, see, for 2 car owners also the data has increased, the percentage has increased, the ownership percentage has increased. So I made a general trend, right? A general statement that it is clear from the chart that car ownership in Britain increased between 71 to 2007, and then I tried to clarify the summarize to little bit further. I took it to little bit further to clarify the summary, right? In particular, the percentage of owners with 2 cars, right? The major, this is the major difference, right? Major change, right? The percentage of owners with 2 cars were rose rapidly. However, there was a fall in the number of households. See, number of households without a car. So I took these 2 lines as my major changes, right? So I tried what overview says. You have to include, if there is a trend, include the trend, and if there are many major changes, include them in your overview, right? Now see, I've got two sentences in my overview, right? In the first sentence I have included car ownership increased in 71 to 2007. In particular, the percentage of owners with two cars. This is my second sentence, right? So I tried to write a summary within two sentences to cover the entire thing out without any data, right? I covered almost all the things, major things, without writing any or without giving any data figures here in overview. Now my BP1, I will be planning about my BP1. Now see, I have mentioned in my first line about the period, time period, right? I'm talking about the time period, about the increase also, about the increase of car ownerships, right? So now I will try to write about the same thing. See, I have started, the very first one is 1971, right? So I am trying to establish a logical link, right, with this sentence, right? In my first sentence I have mentioned about the time period, the starting time period 71 and the ending time period is 2007. So in my BP1 I'm starting from the starting point, right? Approximately 2% British households had three or more cars, this one, right? And around 7% had two cars, right, this one. Whereas approximately 44% of households had one car, this one, the beginning. I'm talking about the beginning, right? By the end of 2007, by the end of 2007, a steady increase in the segment of two car ownership was recorded, and the figures reached approximately 227. That is the increase percentage of owners, the rapid increase, right? By the end of 2007, a steady increase in the segment of two car ownership was recorded, and figures reached approximately 227%. Similarly, the percentage of ownership of three or more cars rose by 5%, whereas no significant changes in case of households with one car. I am not talking about here in this paragraph about the decline of the ownership without cars, right? I am talking about a particular type of segment, that is the increase of ownership in the segment of three or more cars and two cars, and maybe, and there is no change, it's no significant change in the ownership of one car. So I have not mentioned any figures for one car, but I have mentioned the key feature of that one car, right? Now we'll see about the paragraph 2. Almost half of the British households were without car. See the second part. In the second sentence, you can see I have mentioned about the fall in the number of households without a car. That means this second line I'm logically linking in my BP2, right? So my first beginning line, or the starting line in the second paragraph is almost half of the British household were without car. The biggest change was observed in this category. In this category, remember, see the word I'm using here, in this category during the period. In the beginning, that means I am referring to 1971. The percentage of households without car were around 48%, which fell, see here, which fell steadily during the period and reached to approximately 25% in 2007. So this is the complete write-up. So this is hardly 272 or 274 words enter write-up. Now if I consider this write-up, I tried my level best to fulfill the requirements of band 8 and 9 range, right, based on this write-up, right? So I tried to establish the links, I tried to logically link, and I tried to maintain the coherence and cohesion throughout the write-up, right, from the beginning of the introduction to overview and then BP1 and BP2, right? So this is the way I have to see. I could have written some other way. Even if you try, you may try you may try to write it in a different way. See, I have taken this. I have planned in this way. I have planned in this way. You may plan in some other way also, right? The main aim is that we have to keep those requirements, those band descriptor requirements in our mind, and we have to plan the write-up. That is important. That is important, right? My writing may differ, your writing may differ, my planning may differ, your planning may differ, but the aim is that we have to fulfill the band's criteria, right? See, always I'm telling you, a plus two student is appearing for IELTS, right? A master's student is also appearing for IELTS, right? So It doesn't matter. Then there must be difference in the level of words, right? There must be difference, no doubt at all, right? But see, both are getting 9 bands or both are getting 8 bands. So based on what they're getting bands, based on the criteria, based on the descriptors, they're getting the bands, right? Not the difference of words or difference of plants, right? Difference of plant, they may be having different plants, but by considering those plants also, if they are fulfilling the descriptors, the criteria given in the bands, they are getting the same bands, right? So that is the most important thing you have to consider. So that's why I'm always advising, even I advise my students also, those who are starting their practice newly, always keep a printout of those descriptors with you in front of you, and regularly watch them, regularly keep them, try to keep the requirements in your mind the moment you start your introduction, overview, and BP1 and BP2, so that each and every points in the 4 criteria will be in your fingertips, and then you can start writing good write-ups, right? Day by day you will improve your write-up. There is no doubt at all, there is no doubt at all, right? You just keep those 4 things, 6 band and up, take a printout and keep it with you while sitting for a write-up. Similarly, for task 2 also, keep the printout of those band descriptors in front of you and start and planning to write a task 2 essay, right? Ending this episode 7, once again a reminder, I want to just give you the summary of this write-up, how this write-up has developed, or what are the things we included based on the descriptors, right? See, introduction covers all the aspects of the graph, right? Who, what, where, when, and etc. Who are about who, it is about the ownerships of cars, right? What, the ownership of car, about the cars, right? Where, in Great Britain. When, the time period is 1971 to 2007, right? So these are all covered, which are given in the graph. I tried to cover all those points in this introduction. Then in my overview, what I did, covered the main trend. I covered the main trend, that there is an increasing trend throughout the time period, and mentioned the major changes. The major changes, I have seen 2 major changes in the ownership of 2 cars and the ownership of without cars. So I mentioned those 2 things in my overview, right? And then body part 1 stated with logical link to the first sentence of overview. See, here I've started with 71, so I started with 71, so it's a link with the paragraph, right? Cohesive devices were used judiciously. I have tried to use the connectors judiciously, right? See here, this one and this one, it's refers to complex compound sentence, right? I can call it as a complex compound sentence, right? This is conjunctive adverb. I used whereas in the form of conjunctive adverb, right? When I'm using a connector as a conjunctive adverb, then I have to use a semicolon and a comma, right? Remember always this thing, right? And then by the end of the segment of 2 car ownership, similarly here it's also a referencing back, right? Similarly, I'm comparing, right? It's a comparing connector, right? So however, see, I've used once however, and I tried not to use however again. I could have been used, but I have not tried. I tried to omit however for the second time, right? These things you have to keep it in your mind. Once you have used one connector, try not to use that again. You use some other word or frame a sentence with the same meaning, right? Without using the or repeating the word, right? To avoid the repeatance, I tried my level best to not to use however again in my write-up, right? And then in the BP2 started with logical link to the second statement in the overview, right? This one, fall in the numbers, right? So this one, what I did, I tried to mention here. I tried to link it in the second my paragraph, right? BP2, right? In this, connectors and back referencing also used without any ambiguities. See here, the word this, it's a back reference, right? This is talking about which one? This is talking about ownership without cars, right? The biggest change was observed in this category. In which category? Ownership without car category, right? This is back referencing. This is we call back referencing. If your back referencing is wrong or creating any doubts, then getting a good band is difficult, right? These are small things. These are the small things. Once after finishing your write up, just give a reading without fail, you will come to know the small mistakes, right? You can easily find the small things, right? While reading your own write-up, don't read as a writer, right? You read it as a reader, right? You change your role, you change your role of play. You just think as if you are the examiner and you are the reader, right? On that point of view, you read the essay and you will see wherever the ambiguities or where a little bit doubts will be there, it will come to your mind, and you immediately correct those things and try to remove those doubts or ambiguities. Then definitely you will have a better write up for the task one, right? So guys, for today, this is for today. And in my forthcoming episodes also, I will try to write some essays. I will try to take some real examples, right? And we will be discussing in this way only. We will be planning about the introduction, about the overview, and keeping all those things, right? All those descriptors in our mind. We will try to cover the write-ups, right? Thank you for watching, guys, and have a nice day.